hope y'all did not just hear me starting with a big sigh, because I definitely did not mean to. But I don't think it picked up on the camera. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, it's muted. Hold on. Hello, hello, hello. Y'all probably heard that. Alright, there we go. This is what we needed. Hello, hello, hello. Y'all probably heard that. Alright. We are here for another weekly Ring of Honor TV review, episode number 142 to be exact, and I'm going to be very honest with y'all. My phone has a low battery. My controller has a low battery. I am filming this a lot later than I normally would, and not a lot happened outside of the opening contest, so this might, all these give the making for potentially a quicker Ring of Honor TV review. Before we get into the actual action, though, cheap plugs. Retro review, already done this week. Ring of Honor Feather Than Angel 2, as we were discussing shows in the build-up to Final Battle 2010. The next show we'll be reviewing is Tag Title Classic 2, and then the week after, Final Battle 2010. Kevin Steen, El Generico, Fight Without Honor. Also, typically the past couple months, on AEW pay-per-view weeks, we've been discussing the Ring of Honor episode and then following up with the AEW pay-per-view. That changed this week, as I've already done my AEW Full Gear 2025 predictions, as well as provided fantasy booking for the Continental Classic 3 that will be starting next week, which should be a lot of fun. Speaking of next week, and I'm glad that they mentioned it tonight, next week's Ring of Honor TV review potentially will be on Saturday, maybe late Friday night. Don't know. It is a holiday. But reason being, A, it's a holiday. But B, Collision is going to be taking place on Thursday, or airing on Thursday. Let's put it that way. And Ring of Honor is moved to Black Friday, so a special Black Friday edition of Ring of Honor changes the TV review up. The Friday after that is Final Battle 2025. We're on the road to Final Battle 2025. We have some Final Battle matches announced on this episode as well. Last cheap plug, I've already filmed this week's My GM episode in the AHS Play series, so check that out when you can. It's bad for me to say that, because I've not uploaded it yet. It will be uploaded Saturday. Check it out after that, please. Let's get right into this episode of Ring of Honor on Honor Club. Episode number 142. We've been building up to this opening contest for a couple weeks. That is a women's title match between Athena and Harley Cameron. To start the show off, Athena struggles to apologize to Billy Starks in the backstage area because she needed to apologize because she should have chose her to be her partner in the women's tag team title tournament. That ultimately led to this match because Harley Cameron picked up the victory with a pin on Athena in that matchup. So, women's title match, Athena defending against Harley Cameron. Lots of arm drags from Cameron early on. That lasts until Athena drops her on the apron and then bounces her into the turnbuckles in the ring. Cameron's roll-up gets a close 2 count. Then we get a sling blade followed by a Shining Wizard by Harley for a 2 count. Cameron keeps the attack going on the outside until Athena slams her into the corner of the barricade. We get a top rope suplex and a back suplex that gets a 2 count for Cameron. Cameron applies an STF with Athena biting her way out of it, but once they're back on their feet, Athena hits a facebuster that transitions right into a Koji clutch and an immediate tap out for Cameron. Athena doesn't want to let go, and she eventually does. So, once again, Athena's still our Ring of Honor Women's Champion, and we're almost at the 3-year mark of this title reign because it started at Final Battle 2022. And we do know that she'll be walking into that event as champion. Who will she be facing? We find out a little bit later on. Speaking of championships in Ring of Honor, we technically had a title change this week happen on the Dynamite Collision 3-hour special when Mercedes Moné unified and became the undisputed women's television champion. Yes, that is a mouthful, but I don't know if I had to keep repeating undisputed, but Mercedes Moné is the undisputed women's television champion. She is on the Final Battle poster. So take that as you will. We got a pair of pure rules matches up next. The first one being Billy Starks versus Katie Arquette. A headlock into the ropes uses Arquette's first and second rope breaks up very quickly. Then Starks uses her first rope break. When she gets up afterwards, she uses her closed fist out of frustration. Starks misses on her swan dive with Arquette following up with a Bronco Buster. But once they're back on their feet, Stark recovers to hit a Brain Buster and a swan dive to pick up the victory. And she does not get to celebrate for very long as Deonna Purrazzo comes out to prepare for her matchup in, again, a pure rules match, this one being against Viva Van. Very early on, we get a forearm and open hand slap exchange between the two. I didn't want to say slap, but, obviously in the pure rules, you can't use closed fist. So an open hand palm exchange, let's put it that way. Leading to Van hitting an axe kick for a 2 count. Deonna's armbar uses up Van's first rope break, and then she hits a power bomb into another armbar with Van quickly giving up. And Starks gets her revenge as she comes out after the match and attacks Deonna and does not give her a chance to celebrate. And there's a good chance that they face off in the Women's Pure title tournament as this is still going on, and she'll be concluding at Final Battle. Both, again, they're still in the tournament. Satnam Singh takes on J.P. Grayson next, and I will be honest with y'all, they mention it a lot that he was a 2015 draft pick in the NBA draft, and I'm not going to say I didn't believe him. I have no reason to believe him, but I was like, who else was, drafted around that top period? And I will admit, after he was drafted, I didn't know any of the names. It is funny, because when you go down the list, because on Wikipedia, the way they have it, is they have, the accomplished players in the draft, pictures of them. And Satnam Singh was the last one, and the person before him was Norman Powell. That being said, this was a matchup that Singh put on a dominant performance with lots of chops and ending it with a choke slam like he does a majority of his matches in ROH. Sometimes you get a little bit of a comedy aspect that wasn't really here in this matchup. Now, this next matchup was Jack Jameson taking on QT Marshall with Big Boom AJ being here as well. Take that as you will. We get an early QT dive to the outside onto the frat house members, but once they're back on the apron, Jameson pushes him off and onto the ground. The match does not last much longer as QT wins with a diamond cutter that Caprice Coleman did call the cookie cutter. After the match, Roppongi Vice come out because Roppongi Vice is taking on QT Marshall and Big Boom AJ on the AEW Full Gear Tailgate Brawl, which I came very close to calling the 0 hour. It's the Tailgate Brawl. And Roppongi Vice, we see Trent low blow QT, and then he follows it up with a shot with his cast that he has on his right arm, and he even smashes Big Boom AJ's arm in a chair. So, how much will this affect their match Saturday? Probably a lot, but I imagine it still happened. Persephone takes on Valentina Rossi next, and Persephone had a message earlier in the episode for Athena, mentioning that she is kind of over her title reign, and it's been going on for long enough. It's been dominant. But she also brings up the fact that herself and Thunder Rosa picked up the victory over Athena and Red Velvet at Global Wars Mexico. And most of the people that have a victory over Athena end up getting a title opportunity out of it. Take that as you will. Rosie has the advantage until a series of roll-ups that leads to a Persephone dropkick. We get a brainbuster by Rosie that gets a 2 count, and then Persephone hits the Razor's Edge that ends the matchup. But Athena, I guess she heard her message because she starts to appear on the stage, and before she gets into the ring, Diamante attacks Persephone. And yes, this is going to be the Ring of Honor Women's World Title match at Final Battle. Athena defending against Persephone. I'll probably talk more about it in the Final Battle preview in a couple weeks because I don't have. Do I have a problem with it? Not really. Maybe if I think about it, I will. But at the moment, I don't really have a problem with it. Also, I have a problem with having one more match on this week's episode to discuss that, but being between the Infantry and Top Flight. We get no Code of Honor as the Infantry attack at the beginning. Dante and Bravo are the first two legal competitors, but Martin is trapped in his opponent's corner. He thinks he can get away, but is hit with a neck breaker. He is able to land a monkey flip, and that gets him the tag out. Top Flight land a drop kick into a German suplex, but Dean tries to bring his title belt in, but the referee catches him and takes it away, and he tries to use the other title belt, but he is rolled up, ending the matchup. And then members of Skyflight, Top Flight, Scorpio Sky, and Shane Taylor Promotions, Shane Taylor and the Infantry, fight off one another with Skyflight standing tall and holding up the six-man tag team titles, and that is another matchup that is officially announced for Final Battle. Shane Taylor Promotions, Shane Taylor and the Infantry defending their six-man tag team titles against Skyflight, Top Flight, and Scorpio Sky. So Final Battle's taking shape. We know that there will be an AEW National Championship matchup. We know the finals of the Women's Pure title tournament will be taking place. So a lot of interesting things. If you notice, I did not say anything about the Men's World Championship, which that's my big concern. Because 2023, we didn't get an AEW Men's World title match. Last year, we literally got Chris Jericho versus Matt Cardona, and I hate that I keep bringing this up, but I'm just, I'm worried about what we could potentially see at this year's show. So, Bandito, and again, it's kind of the case like Bandito's put on such a great performance in title reign. This is the biggest show of the year for ROH. I think you need a big matchup, but that might be me overthinking it. So, I'm not going to overthink anymore. I told y'all all the videos that I've done this week, and hopefully you check those out as well. Hopefully, if you're enjoying and going to watch Full Gear, that you enjoy it. Have a safe weekend. Is this a prelude to the show with Samoa Joe holding up the AEW World Championship? He's also going to hold the TNT title up because, I lied to y'all. He's still, in my fight forever, he's still TNT champion. But this might be a prelude. Who knows? We'll see. I appreciate y'all. And I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Because I'm out for now. Goodbye.